Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. My name is Kassandra and I'm going to take you through this flexibility and relaxation practice. This can be done at any time of the day, suitable for all experience levels. I am going to start off using a block. If you don't have a block at home, don't worry, you can easily substitute this by just grabbing maybe some folded up blankets or some kind of dense cushion or even a couple of bed pillows. Really whatever you have lying around at home should be just fine. We are going to start lying down on our backs. So this is a full body stretch, gentle practice. And we're trying to bring some ease, comfort, and relaxation through the body. Let's begin in reclined butterfly pose, soles of the feet together, let the knees fall apart. And I like to almost lift my hips up, tuck the tailbone under, and then set the hips back down so that I'm not swaying too much through my lower back, not causing any pain or pinching here. And you can choose where you'd like to bring the arms, maybe reaching them up overhead if you want to stretch a little bit through your chest and through your shoulders. Closing the eyes. So while physically this is a practice working on flexibility, mentally and emotionally we're looking to alleviate any stress, to practice mindfulness, staying in the moment, and to give ourselves full permission to relax, to let go. So it's flexibility of the body, but also flexibility of the mind. And just take 5 more breaths here. See if you can relax your jaw, your shoulders. And to come out of the pose, let's straighten our legs, stretch out those arms overhead, reaching fingertips away from the toes, really feeling that side stretch. And we'll bring our knees in towards our chest, pulling them in. You can widen your knees towards shoulders and armpits. Maybe you'd like to stay here, just rocking side to side, or go deeper by coming into your happy baby pose, stacking your ankles over your knees, pressing the tailbone down into the mat, keeping head and shoulders on the mat so you're not curling or crunching yourself up. And getting a nice big stretch through our hips, but also through those hamstrings, opening up at the back of the legs. And letting this go, grab a hold of your block, place it underneath your seat on its lowest level. So if you have blankets at home, just elevate your hips. You can really also substitute this by not doing any lift of the hips and staying on the mat. We're just going to bring our right knee in towards our chest and extend that left leg to the floor out in front of you. So the block, the lift of the hips, helps us get a little bit deeper through the hip flexors. And the more you can think of reaching out through that left leg and almost pushing that heel into the mat, while at the same time drawing that right thigh in, the deeper sensation you'll feel here. You might want to add a few ankle rolls with your right foot, getting some mobility through that ankle joint, flexing and pointing through your toes. You can reverse going both ways. Slide that left leg back in so the foot is flat to the floor, and just take a little hamstring stretch, straightening that right leg any amount. And again, here we want to flex and point a few times so that we're getting through the calf, stretching through the front top of that foot. And let's release. We'll go to the other side. So this time, draw your left knee to your chest and extend that right leg out to the mat, reaching out long through that right heel, pushing it down. No tension in your upper body. And maybe add a few ankle rolls with that left foot. And going both ways. We'll come to our hamstring stretch the other side. So slide that right foot in. Straighten your left leg any amount and just flex and point. You can definitely have a bend in your left knee. Doesn't need to be completely straight. And let's release, bringing both feet flat to the floor. Press up into your bridge pose so you can lift the hips off of the block and move it out of the way before rolling down inch by inch. Let's roll ourselves up. Coming to take a seat, I'll just turn to face over towards you, sitting up nice and tall, shoulders over the top of your hips. Let's reach the arms all the way up, interlace your palms, flip them up, and then arch through your back as you press the chest forward, lift and lengthen up a little bit more. And then turning the knuckles facing up, you're going to reach the arms forward, round, and contract. Chin to chest, broadening through the shoulder blades. Coming all the way back up through to seated. Let's reach our right arm up and over. Find a side body stretch. Push down through that right hip. And you can add a bit of a neck stretch and neck release here by reaching your right arm out to the side, hovering it a few feet off the mat. Really let your head dangle here and think of pushing that right shoulder down so that you're really getting through the side of your neck. Your next inhale pulls you up into a twist. Left hand to your right knee, right fingertips back behind you. Staying tall and lifted. Back to facing forward. We switch sides, left arm up and over, side body stretch, lateral flexion. And add your neck release. Your inhale pulls you up into your twist. Exhale, draw the lower belly in and up. Right hand to your left knee, left fingertips support you behind. Pushing down into the floor a little bit, reaching the crown of the head up. And let's face forward to the top of the mat. Coming onto hands and knees. Just find a few hip circles here so you can move your hips all the way forward, side, back. One more. And you can reverse the direction of those circles. So just creating a little bit of fluidity through that lower body. press your hips back towards your heels. Bring that left fingertips either down onto the floor, or if you'd like, you can bring your hand onto the block. Left hand goes back behind you. Right arm will reach all the way forward and back. So reaching it and sweeping it over as we press and lift our hips up. And let's release. We'll go to the other side. Fingertips can either be down on the mat. You don't have to use the block. The block just makes it a little bit easier. Left arm sweeps and reaches back as we push those hips forward. And coming down, let's find a downward facing dog. Hands shoulder width distance apart, feet are hip width distance apart, tucking the toes, lifting those hips up and back. And let's widen our feet towards the edges of the mat. Bend your knees and press your chest back. Soften through your neck, soften through your jaw. Lifting tailbone up towards the sky. Now bring your feet back, hip width distance apart. Bending into the knees, you can reach that right leg all the way up to the sky. Bend your right knee, open up your hip. Big stretch in here. And we'll come into our lunge. Right foot forward, between the hands at the top of the mat. Start by first keeping that knee lifted. Just think of pressing the hips down, lifting up through your chest, maybe rocking the weight back and forward a couple times. And then we'll let that left knee come down to the mat. Adding a little bit of a twist, you can lift yourself up, left arm forward, right arm back. Opening through your chest, pulling that right shoulder back a little bit more. And facing forward, let's find our half splits. Straighten that right leg any amount. This is also where the block can be really nice if you want to stay up a little bit higher. And you can point and flex a few times through that right foot. It'll change the sensation of the pose quite a bit. And we'll come from here into our pigeon pose. Bend into that right knee. I'm just going to toe heel my right foot over to the side so that I can bring my right knee behind my right wrist, squaring off those hips. This is also where having a block underneath that right seat or your blankets or pillows can make this a lot more comfortable and easier to hold. And maybe you want to stay up lifted, or we can fold on down. Slow, steady breaths here, trying to melt away any tension through our shoulders, through the upper back. 10 deep breaths in the pose. Every time you exhale, can you invite yourself to soften and let go a little more? Letting your hips get a little bit heavier as they sink down towards the mat. 3 more breaths here. And you can start pushing yourself into the floor to lift back up. And we're going to ease back into downward dog so we can go do those same poses on the other side. Take your time to get there, whatever feels good, because this is meant to be a very gentle, relaxing type of flow. I'm not going to do any chaturangas, no vinyasas, nothing like that. Just stretching into downward dog. And we'll go to the other side. So left leg extends up, bend your left knee, open up that hip. And we'll come into our lunge. Left foot steps between the hands to the top of the mat. Keep your back knee lifted off of the floor to start. And I like to just rock back and forth a little bit, creating a little bit more space through that right hip flexor area, right at the front of the thigh, top of the hip. And then your back knee comes down to the mat. Lift yourself up and add your twist. Right arm extends forward, left arm reaches back. And think of pulling that lower belly in a little bit here. So really just twisting through that upper back. And facing forward into our half splits. Straighten that left leg any amount. I'm going to use my block. Flexing and pointing that left foot a few times. And we'll set ourselves up for pigeon pose. Bend into that left knee. And you can toe heel that foot over to the side, bringing that left knee somewhere behind your left wrist. Squaring off the hips, maybe propping yourself up with some blankets with that block underneath your seat, or you can bring the block under your hands, your arms, your chest. Sometimes it can feel nice to have it underneath the head. We have about 10 breaths here. Sometimes when we hold poses a little bit longer, our mind will begin to wander. We get distracted. It's very normal, but if you notice that happening, just come back to focusing right here, right now. Not distracting ourselves away from the sensation of the pose, but instead using that as a tool to stay anchored even more. Can you relax your shoulders and your arms a little more? Inviting that left hip to let go and release. Three more breaths here. And this downward dog will be coming into. You can start to lift yourself up. This will be our last one. So just last opportunity here to stretch everything out. Create space. And we'll come to lay down on our belly, just setting up for Sphinx pose, opening through our chest a little bit here. Sliding your elbows out in front of you. Think of lifting and pulling your heart forward, pressing the shoulders down, and almost squeezing the shoulder blades a little bit behind you. At the same time, I'm pushing a little bit through the tops of my feet and pushing into those hip bones so that I'm not jamming through my lower back. And we'll release. I'm just going to flip over onto my back before we come into Shavasana. We're going to do our banana pose and a really lovely side body stretch. So with your feet flat on the floor, you can lift your hips, move them to the right, and then bring your head and shoulders to the left. Straightening your legs, you can walk your feet over to the left as well. So I'm doing like a side bend, lying down, Arms can reach up overhead, holding onto the elbows, and maybe wrap or cross your right ankle over the top of your left one. So just in this banana side bend shape, we're looking for a gentle opening from that elbow all the way down the side of the waist into the side of the hip, and you might feel it down the leg as well, depending on where you hold tension and tightness in your body. Try to push your right hip down so that you're not rolling over onto your side. We still want to stay facing up. Three more breaths here. And we'll just go into that pose on the other side. I'm just going to bend my knees, feet flat to the floor, and bring yourself back through to center. Hips will go over to the left, chest, head and shoulders to the right, and then straighten the legs, walk the feet over to that bottom right corner of the mat, crossing that left ankle over top and pushing that left hip down. So big side body stretch. Allowing the breath to be natural, not forcing it. Five more breaths here. We are setting ourselves up for Shavasana. So you can unwrap or let go of the hold of your arms, uncross the ankles, and just center yourself on the mat so that everything is aligned. And you can take up some space with the legs, the arms, palms facing up, closing your eyes. And we'll have just a few minutes here for true rest and relaxation. Let yourself soften and get heavier. Knowing that there's nothing else for you to do right now. This is exactly where you should be. And it's perfectly fine to take this time to restore, to relax, to settle in. And I'll let you know when it's time for us to get up, and we'll close our practice together. Deepen your breath. Using this breath to slowly wake yourself up and adding gentle movement, bringing energy back into the body. Still making this gradual so that we're not rushing. It might feel good to stretch your arms up overhead like what we did at the beginning of class. And we'll roll over to one side. Take a moment to pause here, just cradling your head in your arm, this little fetal pose. Just so that we're not rushing. And when you feel ready, you can let yourself come up, pushing into the floor. We come up to take a seat. Closing your eyes. Once you're up and seated, roll the shoulders down and away from your ears. Hands can come together at the front of the heart. Take a moment to show yourself gratitude for taking time out of your day to do something to care for yourself. Let's chant Om together one time. We'll inhale to chant. Breathe in. Om. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing this flexibility and relaxation flow. I know I certainly feel very relaxed right now and very comfortable, I would say, in my body. Hopefully you feel something similar. Do leave me a comment before you go. Subscribe if you don't already. And hopefully we will practice again together very soon.